Hello and welcome to the Friday Night Social at the rather strange but early time of 6:30. And I'm joined by loads of people tonight because it's not past anyone's bedtime. We've got Rachel Harris here. We've also got Mike Dix as well. We've got Scott Williams down there. We've got Terry Christian below me. All right, Tessa, how you doing, mate? You okay?
Right. Yeah. Straight fresh from another funeral.
Sunny Manchester. He just come from a funeral and he's sober, which is, just...
Well, no, it was a free bar. It's the third one in a week. But being Irish descent, I'm from that last generation where everyone's parents were both Irish. And now the ones that are still alive, because most Irish blokes like my dad, they die at a decent age, like 71. These are the ones that
My
linger
mum's
into the
75.
mid-90s.
I also have to say, Terry,
Irish blokes always look like they're gonna live forever. And they drink like fish, smoke like troopers, and just go bang one day, which
that's the way you want to
go. Something
go.
quite macho about it.
And have an awesome time.
Wrong side of the Pennines.
Clearly
the best side.
We've got Ollie Bowler Hat Man.
As I once said about Yorkshire folk, Southerners with northern accents.
Oh, meow. Just take it outside, lads.
Wow.
Take it outside.
Opening silo. Opening silo.
And we've also got Wayne in the chat as well. All right, Wayne, how you doing?
Oi.
He's struggling with his internet.
Today.
Sorry?
I'm not in the chat today.
You're not in the chat? But you're here.
I'm live.
You're live. It's amazing. It's a beautiful thing.
You can see my actual boat.
Wayne has come dressed as Nigel Farage, as you can see. He's in fancy dress.
Listen, flat cat.
Have you just been to a
I was
hunt,
at a big
Wayne?
Jamaican funeral yesterday, and one of the guys, I haven't seen him since 1979, and he used to have a big afro, and he come in a flat cap, and he was bald as a coot when he took it off later when the DJ started.
Wasn't that like in the Connells video for 74, 75?
Terry, let me tell you something about my granddad, right? My granddad, his little thing, he lived till he's 94. He's a Lynch, so he's Irish heritage.
Irish, yeah.
And his thing to me was like, Wayne, every day I just got to have a little bit of rum. 94, mate.
That is good plan. I like it. Take the edge off.
And then he left you that hat.
What always killed all the Jamaican guys off. Where they used to buy land, didn't they, in Jamaica, and then they'd retire and move over there, and the heat would kill them, and drinking rum every day. So they'd move onto the land they'd saved up for all their life with the pensions, go back to Jamaica to live, and they'd be dead in 2 years because they couldn't handle the heat and drinking rum all day.
My nan and granddad had a very, very opposite problem. They moved back to Montserrat in 94. Then the volcano kicked off. The volcano kicked off, and they was back in London by 95.
They can still count to 10 in Irish, can't they, in Montserrat?
Yeah.
I don't get that joke. What? They still count to 10?
No, it's true. Well, Montserrat was kind of Cromwell sent loads of Irish there.
Oh, okay.
And so even a lot of the Africans, have Irish descendants, and so they all learn how to count to 10 in Gaelic words.
Well, it's not only that.
And even the accent is a bit Irish sounding, isn't it?
No, the Irish the West Indian accent comes from Irish. That's why you get 33 and a third. And it sounds exactly the same as the Irish.
Wayne, have you got your hand over the lens, or is that just? Are you holding it? That's better.
Sorry, I don't want to
complaints in the chat.
I ain't got my setup. But,
just 1 minute before you go on, because I know all of you guys like to talk. I just want to say a big hello to everyone out there watching. If you'd like to join our friends in the chat on the left-hand side of the screen here, all you need to do is press the subscribe button and wait for about 30 seconds. But don't be a troll, or we will mute you and boot you. Sarah Davis, straight in there with the super chat. Mike, I hope you're okay. So, Mike, are you all right,
Thank
mate?
you, Sarah. I am all right, actually. I'm a week beyond my brutal treatment, and I've only got one more to go. So
how many days is the next one, or is it just a one-day thing?
Luckily it's after my son's wedding in Seville. So the next thing in my diary is not a medical appointment; it's a wedding for a weekend in Seville, which is brilliant.
Seville,
and then
not
it's the
Savile,
day after.
yeah.
It's the day after I get back. No, I'm never having another wedding inside Savile.
Oh God, yeah. So, but yeah, well, that's fun. Well, I mean, it's great that it's nearly over, man.
It's good. Yeah.
So, Terry might not know, but Mike's been getting treated for cancer over the last few months, and it's been pretty grim. Could we talk about your LinkedIn tale? Can we mention that? Do you mind?
I went. Not that I do this very often, right? But I went and checked my LinkedIn today. And my doctor, who I've only met while I'm bent double over this bench with my arse out, waiting for her to stick a pipe in it with radiation. I've never met her face to face. My doctor has checked me out on LinkedIn. That is a social media phenomenon.
I wanted to know what your face looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think it's the opposite of Grindr. In fact, Terry, can we pitch it to Channel 4 as embarrassing bodies?
Love at first
Embarrassing
arse.
bodies meet
when I was doing
naked
the word,
attraction.
when I was doing the word, I ended up with an anal, what do they call it, like a tear.
Oh,
right.
So the cure for it was to go in to hospital to have what they call an anal stretch.
No.
Basically, you get.
Sounds like
my
Saturday night.
No.
But the thing is, when I went in,
Did you meet this doctor in a bar
in North Manchester High? And every fucker in there knew what I was in for. So I'm looking through the bit, and you're only in there for, you go back the same day, although it's a bit painful, as you can imagine. And they're all saying, all right, sorry, I believe you're in here to get your ass sorted out. And then they'd be going like, hey, it's that Channel 4 thing, isn't it? And as my then missus was coming to pick me up from the hospital, as I was walking out, this bloke had been giving me all that. He went, hey, rub a bit of Vaseline on it. So there's all kinds of humiliation that is involved with being ill. Never mind.
I went to a friend's leaving do last night, and there was quite a large gay community there. And one of the guys, when I told him what I'd been going through, said, "Have you not heard of poppers?"
Poppers, yeah.
Poppers. Yeah, amyl nitrate. Suede sung about that, didn't they? You want to get on to your 90s indie pop. But yeah, we were supposed to be talking about what's been going on this week. I mean, I can't even keep up anymore. It's just one thing after another. But they're getting rid of the Department of Education in America, so no one's going to get educated anymore. That sounds good to me.
How can that make a difference? I was so
Scott's
shocked.
laughing at that, which is good, because...
No. When I first went over there in 1990, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I'm not from like you kind of sophisticated Americans. You watch Frasier, you think that there might be a lot of them like that. I mean...
He's a Trumper.
Literally, people couldn't find a way to the toilet. Even though the signs were there. And the biggest one for me was, we did a thing about this 12-year-old preacher, and we had to take his cousin Leroy, who looked exactly how you would imagine Boo Radley to look. And this is what he said to us in the car. We had to give him a lift to the church. And he went, is it October in England too?
Oh, God.
And we went,
there was
my cousin, but one of them, because he was a big bloke and looked a bit dangerous. Went, well, yeah. And he went, so y'all have the same calendar that we have?
Scott's trying to jump in here. What do you want to say, Scott?
My cousin
got
married.
This is what he said really ominously. He went, the Jews have a different calendar. He's like, get my rifle, boys.
Oh, my God.
And then I did a reality TV show, and this is genuine, right, with Vanilla Ice, and he threatened to kick me head in. Because obviously there's drinking allowed. It was called The Farms. Yeah. It's me, Stan Collymore, Margie Clark. I got kind of parachuted in after they'd all been in a week.
Were we just talking about name dropping before we came online?
No, my whole life is name dropping.
Winkle.
I have to but basically, so Vanilla Ice is there, and he's like, he's thick as a submarine door. If really is that dense, light would bend round the bloke. But the thing is, so he starts talking about World War II and how America saved us by dropping the atom bomb on Japan in 1941.
That was nice.
4 years earlier. So I pointed out to him that it was that, and then he was going, oh, fuck you, you're just belittling me, man. Facts, belittling. And actually, I do like that.
They don't like being factored, Terry.
It's the Irish in me. But it's ADHD, I'd start fighting in an empty room. And then he says, then we started talking about World War II. And how the causes of World War II was because of German reparations in World War I. And this is what he said to me. There was a World War I.
Wow.
And I was going, no, we just go straight to...
Straight to two.
Straight to Rocky.
The better remembered sequel than the original film.
Yes,
Scott, what was Scott about to jump in with? Did you have a story for us?
Yes, my uncle. My uncle is English. Obviously, he's from.
That's not entirely obvious. Maybe to you, but not to the rest of us.
He's from Liverpool.
Oh, is he? Anyway, brilliant. I like him already.
No, my dad is from Liverpool. Anyway,
yes.
You didn't know that?
No.
Anyway, so lives in America, obviously, and my cousin is American. He was born there, so he's got married to a nice country girl down in Kentucky, and my uncle went down to the wedding, and my other cousins went to the wedding as well, and the bride's family showed up in a pickup truck. They were all in the back of the pickup truck, all dressed up in their white shirts and black trousers and stuff. So he meets the mother of my uncle meets the mother of the bride, and she's just absolutely perplexed by his accent, doesn't know what to make of it. And she says, "Where are you from?" And my uncle says, "Mom, I'm from Liverpool. I'm English." And she went, "Is there another country?"
It might as well be sometimes.
Wow. And you know what? He just went, "You know what? I gotta go." He just walked away from her.
As you do.
As you do. Because they were all watching, well, most of them just spent the whole reception watching TV.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about idiocracy. We've talked about it quite a lot on this channel. Like, it was
Well,
set
it's true. It's a
500
documentary
years
now.
in the future. 500 years, not 20 years. 500 years in the future. But we just got a super chat in from Ivan. Thank you so much for the super chat, Ivan. That's really kind of you. An emphatic no to the US becoming an associate member of the Commonwealth. Is this a thing?
Who suggested
I
that?
don't know. Sorry, Scott. The UK and other countries in the Commonwealth must stand firm and stop it. Well, that could mean that Canada could take over the US.
They're doing that anyway.
That'd be interesting. Wouldn't
Imagine
it?
that. They've been concentrating on the southern border so much. It's the northern fuckers that were going to get them.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Well, they did burn down the
Canada-
White House.
do you know how
they
the
as it was?
Do you know,
Again.
Ivan, guys,
Was it
Ivan is
1840
absolutely.
when we burnt the White
Ivan is
House?
absolutely right. There's a Financial Times story here. Trump says he would be happy for the US to become an associate Commonwealth member.
What the? Okay.
That's in his
guys.
twisted little mind, isn't it? Of
What
the Canada's a Commonwealth, and they're going to be the 51st state. So therefore, by associates, they'll be. That's what he's thinking. I bet you that's.
But
what he's
and that's the point that we just say. And King Charles is your king. Now fuck off out the White House. Basically, you're in charge
Let
again.
the
Maybe
Prime
we can
Minister
get
is
Hong Kong
now
back and take
Keir
over
Starmer.
China.
Yovash in the chat is saying that Idiocracy is a documentary. Yeah, it may as well be now. Can I just say, does anyone watch the TV show Sherlock? That was the updated version of Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
with Benedict Cumberbatch, right? There was an episode in it, and there was a guy, and when he looked at someone, he could see how old they were, what school they went to, and he just remembered it all. And one of the things was their porn preference that would come up, like as he was looking at them. Pornhub is Canadian. If Canada wants to end this war before it even begins, they have the data. Let me tell you, they have the data. Pornhub,
None
do
of the
it.
MAGAs would care or
Except
believe
all
it anyway.
Do it,
They got
Pornhub.
fake news.
Blue state tariffs on porn.
What?
Somebody in the chat has just said how good it is to see Rachel, but can she get a word in edgeways, please?
Yes. Rachel, how are you this week?
I'm fine. I've had a couple of really funny things to say, but the subject keeps moving on.
Sorry. Do you want to go back
No.
to something that you're going to say?
No, I was just thinking on the Department of Education. The classic meme of today was in Louisiana. There were the four council members sitting there going, "We're getting rid of the Department of Education. Really happy about that." And Louisiana was spelt incorrectly behind them. On the
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
That was my favorite today.
That's quite remarkable.
Yeah.
That is quite remarkable. Oh my God.
Have we seen the new fighter plane, the F-47
The Trump.
by Boeing?
The Trump.
the
The
invisible
Trump
one.
fighter.
Yeah, I said it
Literally
just turns
invisible.
around, drops its trousers for Putin. Not much of an aircraft one.
Yeah. I mean, it's being made by Boeing, and any like defense nerd out there will tell you that anything Boeing touches, like defense contract wise, is like a disaster waiting to happen.
Boing.
They've already got the F-35 that's been made by Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin right now are scrambling towards Canada to basically try and make them sure that they've got their orders in, that they're going to lock in their orders for the F-35. I've said this before, we should be going over to Lockheed Martin saying, yeah, we're part of that program too. Why not just bring all that assembly line
Yes.
and split it between Canada and us? You know,
Yeah.
we can we can do a deal on
Or
that.
buy,
we
or
should
buy
be
Eurofighters,
poaching Americans left,
which
right,
we
and
still
centre.
make the wings for, basically.
Yeah.
So,
We need to poach the Americans. We need to
Isn't
take
that
the fighters the
Swedish
best.
fighter supposed to be kind of better?
yeah.
Yep.
You know, or as good as
Poland
cheaper?
just cancelled an order
The
for
Griffin or
35s
whatever it's
and
called.
Oh no, we've lost.
Yeah, the Griffin fighter. Yeah, that's
we've
Sweden's
lost Wayne.
fighter.
Where's
Yeah.
Wayne? Wayne's gone off to, I don't know, vote Tory or something.
it's like the Volvo, of,
Dressed like his
The Saab.
the Saab of fighter planes.
It's Rachel.
Actually,
and,
Saab
and
used
Mike in the same
to
room.
be a fighter plane maker, don't they? Yeah, Rachel and I have moved in together.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Excellent. Very happy to do that.
Fantastic. Someone's asking who's the American guy. Scott. It's Scott. He's on the show
It's
every
Scott.
week. How can
I'm
you not
here
know
all
Scott?
the time.
He's wearing his rude T-shirt as well, which
Oh, he
you can't
is.
see.
He is. We can't see the bottom of it, and we're not going to because it's before the watershed. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Don't stand up, Scott.
So can we take some bets on what the next mad thing that Trump's going to do is? Because it's really hard to predict.
It's impossible, isn't it? There's nothing you can predict. There's nothing you can satirize about this guy. Everybody that says, "Oh, it must be great being a satirist with Donald Trump," around, you go, "No, it's not," because he's better at it than me.
Yeah, I just posted it in the chat when he was announcing this. He actually said this, that the F-47 is equipped with the state-of-the-art stealth technology. It is virtually unseeable.
Oh my god, you can. I know. Oh my.
And that's not even the best one. I think the best
It's
one was early today.
unbelievable. You wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
People are saying it's the most amazing. It's the most wonderful.
Most wonderful, most amazing.
Great.
But the best one was earlier today was about Bannon, his son. So when he was asked about this, he said this.
Yeah.
He can look at a computer. I turn off his laptop. He said, "Oh God." I go back and about 5 minutes later, and he's got his laptop, and I say, "How did you do that?" He's got an unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And you know what? You know what Barron said? Barron said, "It's computer."
It's all computer now.
It's computer, Dad.
Computer.
It's all
old
computer
people and
in here.
technology.
That's a classic parent response, isn't it? I turned off Facebook, and then lo and behold, they turned it back on again. I don't know how they did that. It's amazing.
There's a guy I've started following on TikTok this week, and all he does is just absolutely kick off about boomers. It's his whole shtick is just saying how the boomers are just the worst generation. He's kind of saying all the stuff that we kind of feel, but we shouldn't really say. And one of his things is they just don't want to learn anything. He's worked in computers for years, and he goes, repair work. If a Gen Xer or millennial or Gen Z come along, they'll say, "Oh, this isn't working," and they'll tell them what's wrong with it. Like a boomer will just turn up with the laptop and just slam it on the table and go, "Broken." And it's like, okay, well, what's wrong with it? It's not working, you idiot! I told you, it's broken.
I've had this for years, though, Graham. Like 35, 40 years, I've worked in computers and the internet. And people say, my age, they say, "Oh, I don't really get computers." You think, where the fuck have you been for the last 40 years? What have you been doing with yourself?
Very guilty.
That's me, and I did A-level fucking physics. And I'm still scared when I turn it on. Bit of bang on the top like a tally in the old days.
It's all Terry's fault.
There was a chart that came out.
For the remote.
There was a chart that came out this week, and it mapped all people. Oh, it's Mikey's joined the chat. Hey, Mikey, how you doing? We've got another American. Quick, hide the anti-American sentiment.
I think he was triggered.
Wayne, did you go and get Mikey? Did you go to Chicago and get Mikey and put him on?
Yeah,
that was quick.
Yeah, just got the Hyperloop over there.
Yeah, your F-47 stealth jet.
Wayne hasn't got enough internet for himself, let alone Mikey in Chicago.
I didn't know that the cab that he was driving had Wi-Fi.
Oh. my laptop's not taking a charge. That's why I'm here.
We need to talk about American processes and get it all wrong purposely to annoy Mikey now.
Yes.
Yep.
He loves that.
Put views in words where they don't belong.
Just know that I
chucking
can retaliate.
letters.
Like
You've done enough.
My country's on the verge of revolution. If you guys don't think I won't turn this motherfucker sideways, you are mistaken.
So did you see your Elon Musk this week complaining about the lack of empathy And then people were playing a clip from him for a few months ago where he said the big problem with the world is there's too much empathy.
Empathy.
Make up your mind, dickheads.
Did you guys see that Fox News pulled his interview with Hannity? Probably because he sounded like a sniveling little bitch, and it's no longer on there. Like me and Tim did it on the headliners. We did it at like 11 a.m. And then when we went to cover it again in the nighttime show, so we could rate it for Unboxed Politics, it was gone.
It was gone.
It was completely off.
Was this the one where he was almost in tears because like he couldn't? He was asked about running his companies and stealing all the money.
No. That was last week. That was last week. Yeah, this was recent with Sean Hannity. We have the video. Like we played the whole thing, so we got it on our channel now, so it's up there forever.
Oh, wow.
We'll never take it down.
It's the fundamental lack of self-awareness, isn't it? When he says Tesla's never done anything wrong to anyone, SpaceX has never done anything wrong to anyone. You go, no, they're not the problem. It's you. It's you. Nobody likes.
I watched Don Lemon did. He played clip 5 today of his interview with Elon Musk, and he was talking about the Great Replacement theory. And he just, it was horrendous. It was just like Don Lemon kept reiterating, do you know that this is a conspiracy theory that started by the Nazis? And you've like reiterated it so many times. And then you apologize for it and then double down on it.
Yeah.
It's like the geezers all over the place.
Did you see Marjorie Taylor Greene in the did you see Marjorie Taylor Greene in the House?
I need to have all these clips queued up before we start the show.
Yeah. So you
should check out our network, dude. We cover all of this.
I did, Mikey. I've been watching it this week. It's very good. It's a great coverage.
Thank you.
Yes. But no, Marjorie Taylor Greene is interrogating Tim Snyder, who's one of my favorite academics. He writes about Ukraine and Russia and the Nazis. And she basically holds up this post from Twitter saying Ukrainians are all Nazis. And she said, this is why we should back Russia in all of this. And Snyder just pulls her apart word by word by word. Absolutely brilliant. He takes her down. He said, yes, there is fascism in Eastern Europe, and it's in Russia, and it's Russia that you should. And it baffles me that the Republican Party at the moment seem to be siding with the wrong side of history. Yeah. And she just sits there and gradually takes this Twitter thing down and just puts it under the desk.
Who was the woman that Victoria Derbyshire interviewed on Newsnight? And she kind of made all these allegations about people who are in prison in Britain for this, that, and the other. And then somebody from Radio 4 approached her and said, actually sent her an email and said, can you tell us what your sources were? She said, it's a fact. Go do the research.
Just sounds like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Journalist.
Say it umpteen times, and then some fucking inbred in the swamps will believe you.
Yeah. Well, this is it. And that idiot press secretary.
I love your shirt, Scott.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The one who was the former beauty queen.
Yeah.
Well, bullshit Barbie, they call her.
And she they actually, someone tried to actually fact check her and say, what this for. I can't remember the exact reason, but she said, the journalist said, "Well, it's this," and she goes, "Isn't it this?" And she goes back and says, "Well, you tell me. You're the journalist."
Listen,
I've seen it.
It's maddening. Sorry, just before we go on, I've got a bunch of super chats. Sorry, hang on a sec, Terry. We've got Gunny saying, happy Friday, have a beer. Thank you very much, Gunny. I will after the show. Tim Ballum, Mikey, insurance normally doesn't cover terrorism. Musk called the attacks on Tesla terrorism. Insurance companies will do anything not to pay out. And then we've got Greg with $5 US. Oh no, it's American dollars. You're getting assimilated. By the American Board Collective.
One of us.
And then we got Chris C. Thank you for keeping us sane this week. No, thank you for watching, mate. Thank you for sticking with the channel. Sorry, Terry. Go ahead.
Hi, Tim.
Hi. Talking of American inbreds. Hey, Tim. How are you?
Harsh.
Wow.
Ooh, Terry, what was the interview you were going to say about?
See how they treat us, Tim?
No, there's an interview online of what is it? Levitt? Is that her name?
Yes, Caroline.
Of her in a beauty pageant, being asked these questions, and she's like, she's all over this. She's got a brain full of broken biscuits. It was quite, I know, seriously, it was like one of those things where you just think, she's thicker than a submarine door. And you're going, but you're thinking, who is accepted? I mean, look, we had a bad time when you look at, Boris Johnson and all the other types, that surrounded him. But I mean, this is off the scale.
It's crazy.
It really is. I mean, we've dumbed down in the last 30 years since I first went to, when I started working in the USA quite regularly. And I used to think, bloody hell, we could never be that thick. Well, we're almost there, but they've gone even worse. Or some of them have, and now they're scrapping the Education Act. Good idea.
Yeah. And they're taking loads of money away from research. So all the world-class universities that make America what it is, with the innovation and the technological breakthroughs and the medicine and they're throwing it all away.
Yeah,
and we should capitalize on it. Grab them while
I saw it.
Absolutely.
There's a great.
He's got to be a Russian asset, hasn't he, Trump? In every way, he's there to destroy them, weaken them.
Yeah,
but I don't even know if it's that complex. I just think he admires Putin. I think I agree with that. As simple as I want to be like Putin.
He's just that dumb.
I want to be like Putin.
I think he's just dumb.
Yeah.
So
and he won't stand
I'm
up.
not saying he's smart about it. I'm just saying that he's just a greedy twat, isn't it? Can you imagine if Trump had actually genuinely started at the bottom? Because he always implies that he's a self-made man. I'd say nice of him to take the blame. But can you imagine him that he grew up on the street? Where would he be now?
I mean, even in
panhandling.
Arguably.
He wouldn't even have the imagination to get in jail.
I always thought that about Rees
that's
Mogg.
the comparison.
If he was born on a council estate, he'll be dead or in jail by now.
Well, he wouldn't get into jail because he wouldn't have the guts to go there. There's something very weak about him.
Yeah.
You can tell that. You can tell that about a lot of the far right types online. They wouldn't open the gob on the street.
I'm no Putin apologist, but Putin's history is he was pretty much brought up on the street, basically. So at least you can kind of go, yeah, that guy is kind of hard. Trump, you're not. You're just sucking up to the bullies.
Yeah, but he'll have the edge on Trump. Massively.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and the Russians actually always did have a good education
but if you look at Elon and Trump, they're both rich, spoiled Joffreys of men who never grew up, never had a consequence in their entire life. So then when they see somebody that's scared, never got hit in the face once, and so when they see somebody that's threatening to them, the first thing they do is they just roll over on their back, show their belly. Ain't I soft down here? Don't you want to give me a good scritching? Like that's their defense, is to be adorable.
But it's that the apartheid South Africa thing in Musk, and then trying to create all of that
again.
Support.
They're both offshoots of Nazis. Trump's granddad was a Nazi.
Oh yeah.
Musk's parents were Nazis in Canada, which is why they went to apartheid South Africa. Like, this is all part of it. But if he thinks that rolling over for Putin and Kim Jong-un and Xi Jinping, if he thinks or President Xi, if he thinks that that's going to work, wait till the American people get their hands on you, brother.
Yeah.
We don't have no soft side. We're all spikes. We're urchins. There ain't nothing sweet and endearing about us. And you just took away all the people who came from Iraq and Afghanistan with PTSD and have trouble distinguishing memory and current and all that. So you take all of their mental health care away.
Yeah.
Have fun being in the same location for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
I won't be.
I think that if someone takes these people out for Peter, it's going to be someone on their side, someone who voted for Trump, who has gone, oh my God, what he done to me? Because they'll feel the sense of betrayal more than anybody else.
They're saving the country in their mind. That's the rationale. That's the thing you don't want to trigger, is when you label yourself as a king and you label yourself as a tyrant, you're going to trigger that patriot. Right, that guy who has been holding the line since he was 18 and didn't make it into the army, but he did the reserves, and he couldn't do that, and he did that. That guy is going to be his light switch is going to get flicked on. And that's not my problem, because I'm not a tyrant and I'm not trying to destroy democracy. But there are defenders of democracy that you do not want to engage with.
But
He'll learn.
Mikey, Elon has never done anything to anyone. He's done is be productive. So nice.
He's just done productive things.
He's just productive. Well, you know,
he started at the bottom, didn't he? And then he inherited that emerald mine off his dad, as we all do.
You know, and now he's paying it back by improving America day by day.
Has everybody enjoyed the? I mean, I often, because being trans and getting called pedo and groomer all day. We've had 2 pastors and 2, political representatives of Trumpers.
State senator
this week. We've 4 this week have all been kiddie fiddlers or sexual pests.
He was trying to hook. The guy was trying in Minnesota. He was trying to hook up with a 16-year-old while the parents were out of town. He was talking to the cops.
Yeah.
There was a MAGA influencer who got found out this week. He was getting done for child trafficking and sex trafficking, and it was creating images of child naughtiness and all that. And he's like one of these prominent sort of influencers. You guys might be more over it than I am. But
it's always projection, isn't it?
But it's all.
They're always projecting.
It's all okay in that party, though, isn't it? You've got the Tate brothers over there. That's fine. Sex trafficking.
Well, Conor McGregor, if you go as the example of a great Irishman as well for St. Patrick's Day.
Oh God! He said he's going to vote for Irish president, hasn't he, Conor McGregor?
No.
Oh God!
If you go down the rabbit hole of the Republican Party,
he tried to sort of like put. He was asking Trump to sign an executive order for Ireland, just on the behalf of Ireland.
Fucking hate him.
Yeah, right.
Ireland don't like Conor McGregor. They all hate him.
They do.
They do. Maybe he should run for president, and then he can find out just how unpopular he is.
Hated he
he wouldn't need to run for president, Conor McGregor. I mean, what is it? My mum and dad are Dubliners, and I actually got my first cousin, same age as me, on the guest list for Paul Heaton last night. And he doesn't even forgive footballers who are Irish descent and choose to play for England. Never mind an Egypt, as they say, like Conor McGregor. Quite funny, he was heading to the Paul Heaton gig at 2:00 yesterday afternoon. He said, we're just heading over now, stopping off for a few pints. Then sent me another tweet, 7:30. Great seats, Terry. And you think, okay, so 5.5 hours of drinking.
Yeah.
Wow, I mean that's
what we did just before seeing the latest Asif Kapadia movie.
I'd be in the gutter by 5:00.
Get in there, Tim.
I thought you drank after it.
Well, if you going back to all the Republicans who are like sexual predators and whatnot, if you go down like the rabbit hole of the Republican Party, they have some weird stuff when it comes to kids. They want to get rid of child labor laws.
Yeah. They
want to
marry them young.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like the Charlie Kirks and the Nick Fuentes of the world really don't care what happened to children. And they have some very weird perspectives of kids.
Yeah. And they want to marry first cousins is a big thing. But also obviously we did all that analysis of all the trans porn consumed, all red states. Trans porn is red states, not blue states. Grindr melts down at every time they all get together for conferences in that area.
Yeah, Republican conference and Grindr just
for them to
ground to a halt. Just overloaded.
Scott, are you a Republican?
The servers are just sweating. Too much traffic.
I had an argument.
Sorry, Scott.
I had an argument with a friend of mine who is he's kind of a Trump supporting kind of guy. And I was having an argument with him on my
he's
Facebook.
a friend.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, and he's a homosexual as well. I mean, totally self-loathing, right? And I'm like, you're an idiot. You're so stupid for believing all this nonsense. He messages me and goes, do you want to come around next week? I was like, are you serious?
Oh my God.
Wow. Are you serious?
No.
I'm probably going to go. We'll see what happens.
Paul,
All right.
I'm going to call you Wayne for the rest of the month.
Sorry to interrupt this. Sorry to interrupt this Tory fucking moment. But Paul in the chat dropped in a £5 super chat. Thank you very much, Paul. It's very kind of you. Elon blames libs for destroying Teslas. More likely to be pissed off veterans.
Yeah.
Or vets.
I'm going to call you
it might just be people who
calling
fix animals.
I'm going to call you the Scott Maker from now on.
Yeah, but it's what's funny is he's like Trump tries to flog a horrible Tesla, and now they're saying all the stuff have gone on Fox saying buy Tesla. I mean, Republicans and
illegal, by the way.
red states buying Teslas isn't the own. They think it is because you're like,
it's not the market.
Buy some Teslas because you're not going to run your Ford 250 turbo nutter bastard and burn the ozone, are you? You're going to buy a green car. Brilliant. Buy as many Teslas as you like. We don't want to buy them because they're shit. We're going to buy something else now. But you want to drive EVs. Great. We got you to do it. By
tin cans with
We're not buying no damn EVs.
I just think it's hilarious because the people who have been against EVs are all the Trump voters. And now they're like, oh shit, I should buy an EV, shouldn't I? To piss off the libs.
Trump himself going,
they can't
it's all gasoline. We have gasoline.
It's all computer. It's all computer, Scott. It's all computer.
They've just recalled all the Cybertrucks. Did you see that yesterday?
I love Tesla.
All of them.
Tesla.
I love the fact that Cybertrucks are banned here completely.
Yeah. Of course, because they're
shit. Tin cans.
But he was
26,000 recalled this week.
Has more integrity.
26,000 Cybertrucks recalled.
Because the panels are falling off.
Panels are falling off at speed.
He's bought 400 for the military.
That's freedom.
You charge under fire, and the panels are falling off while the shells are hanging.
We'll sell them to the Russians for the Ukrainian war.
Did you see?
Did you
see that they can't cope with below freezing temperatures? The Cybertruck.
No, they can't.
Because
they can't.
That's why he doesn't want to attack Russia.
Yeah, when he originally launched it, he said it would be an exoskeleton of steel, but it turns out that all on with
the wrong glue.
They can't go through
the glue separates and they all peel off. Yeah.
If only there was some way of attaching metal to metal.
Oh, crazy! I know.
What could that
Other
be?
than using
We can't take technology that is.
Well, we can't have the Tesla We can't have the Tesla Humvee and launch it into battle because what if the Russians put out like a puddle? You know, got like a 2-inch puddle in front of the place. They were like, "Oh,
deploy the puddles!"
Just they got a bubble wand out there. Back up! It's mortar fire. Like, water balloons. One water balloon would take out a whole heap of Cybertrucks.
You just fire a small battlefield nuke in the middle of their approach, and they would all the EMP would just stop them all. You know, that would be it. That would be the end of their.
Just roll a refrigerator magnet through a line of them, and it'll probably break them too.
In the chat, Inner Hype is saying James Murdoch sits on the board of Tesla. It's a twat's paradise. You know,
well, Elon's out there telling his board and his employees not to sell their Tesla shares, and because they're selling them as quick as they can. They had an all hands meeting today saying, "Don't sell."
Don't sell, please. Don't sell. You'll make Musk bankrupt.
I can't wait for the Tesla stock.
There finally are investors going out there and saying very clearly on TV, you know, he needs to go.
Yeah, but that won't make any difference because they know he'll start make money even though he's not CEO. So they'll carry on with the Tesla. But I saw an economist today saying the next thing will be Starlink. People have now realized there are 10 other competitors that you can get those. They're just as good, and countries will find a way not to buy Starlink next, and they'll be moving on to that. And he said they are definitely going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm there for that, so that's good. But I thought it was really.
Well, they're not going to trust Starlink anyway.
No.
Everything that's gone on with
intelligence the Ukrainians.
But to have all that, but to have all of that gear up in the air, and then to not have any customers is going to bleed him. It is going to bleed him. He needs that cash flow coming in from all these contracts. Well, once that dries up, that 430 billion is going to be ticking away a lot quicker than he realizes.
The irony is the amount of taxpayers' dollars that he's been using to get those things up in the sky.
He's a welfare queen.
Yeah.
Always remember
he's a welfare queen.
Always remember he used the Tesla stock to buy Twitter. So he's got a lot of loans.
Saudi Arabian and Russian money tied up against his Tesla.
Yeah, but for them, it's worth it to destroy something like Twitter, which was one of our only social media outlets, in which allowed people like you and me to speak truth to power.
Yeah.
It's worth it for Saudi to buy that.
Pictures of me and Jimmy Savile posted every day. I only box popped in for 60 seconds at the end of April. I was working 2010. That one photo.
Terry, if you want, I could Photoshop it for you. Change it to like I don't know, Ian Brady or something.
I will actually get the footage and put it out at some point. But I actually quite enjoy it. In fact, I might set up a YouTube channel and take all the money off all those fucking fascist twats. You know what I mean? Say,
Good idea.
You go watch me.
Keep sharing this video of me and Jimmy Savile. Keep doing it. No, it's fine. Yeah.
We got Tim
now
Ballum
a word from our sponsor.
Tim Ballum in the chat dropped in £10. Thank you very much, Tim. That's very kind of you. Super chat there. A recent study by IC Cars found that Tesla vehicles have a fatal accident rate nearly twice the industry average, with a rate of 5.6 per billion miles driven, making them the most dangerous cars on the road. And as a lot of people saw this week, they can't even tell when someone's just drawn a road on the wall, like in the Roadrunner cartoons. They can't tell. It's a drawing, and they just crash into it.
In their defense, neither could Wile E. Coyote.
How can they not know?
Well, because
there was
really
a story of there was a Tesla advocate who he had his car in self-driving mode, massive Tesla advocate, and he got decapitated because the semi truck in front of him had a reflective surface. Car couldn't read it and just drove straight into the back of it. Boom, he was gone.
Oh dear,
because they don't use lidar.
That Harry Shaping, didn't he die like that in a car crash? Got decapitated, and Isadora Duncan.
Yeah.
Hers
was a scarf around the back wheel.
Yeah, and then took her head off.
Yeah.
There wasn't there another...
The video you're referencing there, the Mark Roper video, I think is so important because that guy, if nobody knows him, is a brilliant engineer who works with kids and works with Jimmy Kimmel in the States. He's really popular, millions of followers on YouTube, and ex-NASA engineer, etc. Easily the equal of an Elon Musk myth. And he's got the following that you need, the young men that think Musk is a genius. Yeah. So that video is genius because it not only takes down Disney and it's so well done. He's obviously really thought about it. It doesn't take down Tesla. He never says anything bad about Tesla, but he literally demonstrates 5 examples of kids being killed by Teslas and not by a Ford on a self-driving mode. And it's, it's graphic in its obviousness that they're shit. That they don't use the right technology.
It's because that Teslas only primarily use cameras for their self-driving. And most other EVs use a combination of lidar and cameras. But Elon is so against lidar for some reason. That's why his cars can't fucking use
Can't you get lidar working for your phone? Am I making that up? Isn't there like an app you can get that uses that lidar with your phone? You can like 3D map out.
Well, the Apple 14s used to have it built in for face recognition.
Okay, all right, then. So it's in phones, but they can't put it in the car.
I think they stopped doing it.
I don't think it's the same one.
Okay.
I don't think it's the same one, you know.
Should have radar.
Yeah, that's expensive. To make your own radar transmitter, like to emit and receive that, it's expensive, which means you can't just sell them for shit. And then not have the, you know what I mean? Like he didn't put the necessary safety equipment in there to save a buck, just like he does with space. Well, do you speak bat? That's the problem. No, we tried bats already, Graham. We tried it.
We tried the bats.
That led to
no one knew what they were telling
us.
You can just see it.
But all those, when we did that experiment, Graham, that led to COVID, and we don't like to talk about it.
All those Teslas are like little recording. They've got 1,000 cameras. They're all over America. Another Jason Bourne. Jason Bourne will be running around. They just catch him because there'll be 1,000 fucking Teslas with 1 million cameras on them, recording everything. He wouldn't be able to hide anywhere.
When you think about it, everything he does, he reads sci-fi books and he thinks the hero is the villain.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I need like Moonraker. That's really good. I'll definitely start launching spaceships. Then he puts a satellite network up. And then he starts building robots that will be controlled by that satellite network.
You know,
and
the
then
Terminator
he puts cars
was really
on the road
that
that can kill you. Yeah.
Arnold was the good guy in Terminator.
No.
Arnold's the hero. Clearly. That's why I'm putting up Skynet.
Yeah. I like Skynet. It's much friendlier than Musk. It's just you know what its intentions are, you know.
Rachel's already tried to appease her future robot overlords.
I did. I lost. And that's why I came back here. It's really bad in the future. It's nice to hear.
Rachel's going to be the only one that survives all of us.
Yeah, well, trans people are tougher than you lot. We have to be.
Yeah,
That's why Republicans hate us, because we're tough. and they don't like it.
I mean, this.
No, they want to get in your pants. That's why they hate you. And they
That too.
They're sexually attracted to you and frustrated. That's their problem.
But this taking apart of the Department of Education in the States, this comes straight off the back of transphobia. You were right, Rachel. You've been saying it for years.
Yeah.
They use it as a Trojan horse, and then they go, we've got to protect our children from the trans menace. And then they go, okay, well, how are you going to do that? Oh, we'll get rid of the Department of Education. That'll do it.
But
So there's disabled children who will not be able to be educated in mainstream schools now, unless the parents are rich, because they won't be able to afford the accommodations that currently come from the Department of Education.
What do I say?
They're going to privatise all of the loans. This is a big thing. They're going to privatise those loans, and they're going to start whacking up the interest rates, and you're going to have a lot of Americans.
Colleges done.
They just don't know
how many people
anyway, do they?
How many people here have $70,000 in student loan debt? Raise your hand. There we go. Yeah.
There was no debt. We got everything paid for in
my
day.
Paid for.
We had free education.
I did get a student loan. I did get a student loan, but it was like $3,000. And that got written off last year because it's been 25 years since I was at uni.
Yeah, so tuition fees were all paid for by the government. And then I used to get 44 quid a week. It used to cost me 18 quid a week for bed and breakfast in the student accommodation.
Same.
And then I had to survive.
Tim, I think
it's good that you live in a socialist utopia.
In London in
if only America had that much money.
I know.
If we had that much money, maybe we could. I mean, they must have way more money than us. That's why they can afford to send their kids.
And have an NHS.
We must be broke.
And healthcare makes people greedy. Apparently, makes them greedy and lazy when you share money out.
So, Mikey, apparently our loans are going to be administered by the Small Business Administration now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Good thing the
you guys are in trouble.
Good thing all the cops are all the finance cops haven't been fired. Oh wait.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I'll just, not pay those loans.
There's going to be so many fallout.
Guys, what if they contract it out to Peter Thiel's PayPal?
Oh, lovely.
It was also Elon Musk's
That's
PayPal.
Yeah.
Elon Musk got thrown out, and then they hired Peter Thiel.
The jackboots at the door.
And who's in bed with Peter Thiel here is we're streeting, buying, NHS, all the data.
Planeteer in charge of the NHS data.
Data, lovely.
Chris, I told you they were coming over there next, but y'all didn't believe me. Get your laws in order.
Just a shout out in the chat, Chris C. Thank you very much for the super chat.
Hi, Chris C.
Musk thinks he's Tony Stark. He does indeed.
Phony Stark.
He would love to be Tony Stark.
He's more Dr. Doom.
His favorite illusion is that he's Tony Stark.
Same actor, different character. And then questionable ad sanity. Thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Jane Mansfield died for nothing. Mentioning people who got lost their head.
God, yes, she got decapitated, didn't she? Jane, that's maybe what I was thinking of. Isadora Duncan. Jane Mansfield, the girl can't help it.
Also, iPhone 13 has LiDAR, great for 3D modeling in Blender and integration with photogrammy. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, to put it on your Tesla. Now there was a report, I think it was in Wired, about Tesla spying on people, because people are talking about Tesla's have got 100 CCTV cameras on them, and yet they've only arrested 3 people for terrorism in the burning showrooms across America. But they record the sound of people talking and the videotape in the car. Videotape, God knows how old I am. Video feed in the car.
I have a reel-to-reel.
I sit there and play it back.
Just a little guy with a Super 8 camera.
Well, for the birdie.
But they've been recording people having sex in Teslas, and then they've been watching it. They've been sharing it amongst Tesla employees. There's been some really horrific stories about invasions on privacy.
That sounds like
it's in the terms and service.
But if you could afford a Tesla, why would you? Why would you'd have a nice gaff to go and have sex?
No, you have to live in. You have to live in it.
Yeah, you spent all your money on it, and you got. You're not getting it back. There's no resale value.
You're gonna be living in it.
Would you like a swastika car, sir? It might get vandalised. It might get X thrown at it. Who knows?
I think people should start putting refrigerator magnets on Cybertrucks.
No one
That's
in
what they
America
are.
is throwing an egg at anything right now. Those things are held on to.
No, they just go back to rocks. We can't afford eggs. Bricks.
I think that's something that we'll have to do when Trump comes to visit. Is just there's got to be the big egg.
Throw
Do you
eggs.
know what I mean? Just
Lots of eggs.
just to show
Everybody
off. Really.
dressed. Everybody just
Not that we
dressed
can
as
afford
eggs.
them.
Yeah. Our eggs are so super
egg
cheap.
suit.
We can afford them so much that we can throw them at people.
We don't have bird flu in this country, and we don't have an orange fuckwit in charge.
I'm
pretty sure he's bringing
bird
it.
flu, yeah, because we've had loads of seabirds have died, haven't they, on them kind of seabird rocks off the coast of Scotland.
Oh shit!
They've
I thought I
had
heard
it for
this.
quite a while.
It's coming for you.
Yeah.
It's just that we
That's the
We're
on an island.
Nothing can
that's
get
it.
us.
I was going to say that's the thing about these bloody birds.
because
They can fly.
it stops a lot of
Damn
free
the
range eggs.
wings.
They have to because you have to keep the hens in.
Yeah,
Stop
we
them
got-
catching it off other birds.
Yeah, we got chicken. I've got lots of chickens with my wife, and we have to register with the government. We've only got 5 chickens, and we have to register, and then they tell you, and it's called flock down, and you lock the chickens in.
Yeah. So it's not really free range anymore, is it?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, we have all the farmers near where I am in Cheshire, and they always like a bit of cash in hand, don't they? So they were doing that. That's where they're so panicked about any tax laws, because they've all got little scams going on. Do you know what I mean? Renting out houses, doing this, that, and the other. I hate the cunts. I'd actually take all the land.
I hope Liz Webster's not watching this.
By the way,
Wayne, we get it. We get
I
it.
hate when
Wayne's
people
about to say
accuse
something.
me of being a liberal. I'm going, mate.
I
I will bring
didn't
the
drop a C-bomb.
darkness to
I didn't
you.
drop a C-bomb. That weren't me.
Well
that
done,
was Terry.
Wayne.
It makes a change.
Makes a change. Tim Ballum in the chat. Thank you very much for the £10 super chat. Loving all the interaction tonight. Starlink is only a thing because of US government funding. The low Earth orbit means the satellites only last for a few years before re-entering the atmosphere, so they need to be replaced every few years. Yeah. It's a scam. God, it's all a scam, isn't it?
What a lot of people don't realise with tech firms is the majority of their R&D is done in college and universities in America. So it's subsidised by the government, and these people that come along and take credit for it, everything was subsidised by the government.
Plus R&D tax credits. They're getting away scot-free with all of this, basically.
Yeah. It's a
And
bloody
then
disgrace.
charging the likes of Mikey and Tim for the privilege.
Yeah. We're gonna have to wrap up soon because I've got to get out. Someone's asking about name dropping famous people. Have you got any more famous friends apart from Terry and
over
Tom
to Terry
Gomez? And
I've met all the most famous people I've met are dead.
Oh no,
James Brown, Whitney Houston,
Terry.
Ian
Is this a confession, mate?
I was about to say, don't hang out with Terry. Don't hang out with Terry.
Hey, listen,
Can we introduce Terry to Elon Musk? Is that possible?
Have you met Elon?
When I interviewed him, and then he was released a few months later, so probably I helped him out.
Oh right, bloody hell,
man.
Well,
I've got a really good one for the Brit.
There's a weird fucking place.
It's Mark from Asher's birthday today, so we're going out to Newcastle with Mark. They were supposed to be joining the supporting the darkness tonight, but they've had to cancel the gig. So if anyone wants,
I'd be very grateful. Do you know, if the darkness cancelled the gig, I'd be very grateful of that. That would be a fucking small music.
Don't say
Some
that.
middle class twat playing very bad
I did
rock
that
music
once. I did
20
that once.
years after it was out of date.
I was talking about a certain person from a certain band with Mark from Ash, and I was like going on about how much of a twat he was. And Mark's like, "Oh, actually, he's a quite a good friend of mine." And I just went,
"Yeah, right."
Oh.
You gotta be
not
really
Justin
careful.
from the.
But artistically wrong. That's what you should have said.
I'm gonna go with a friend of the show, especially on the bin. He's been on 3 times. Scott from Five. Five have got back together. They've got a nationwide tour.
Is the 5 of them
later on this year?
Yes.
Are all 5 still alive?
That's why they're called 5.
Yep.
They paint themselves into a corner there, calling themselves 5. As soon as one of them carves it, they'll have to change the name of the band.
Well, no, there was 3 of them. They still called themselves 5.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
It's the name of the band.
Oh, mate, that's just messing with people with dyscalculia.
You know what, Wayne? All I need you to do
Evil bastards.
Give Jay my phone number. And then
Is Jay the one from Warrington?
Yeah.
The muscly one.
Yeah.
He went out with Danny Bear for a while.
Whatever. I don't want to hear about that heterosexuality. Listen,
that doesn't make him. That
You're
doesn't make him
grossing
a
Scott
member of a
out.
small or select band of people. By the way, you know.
I'm so
Get him on the chat.
Also,
Also, Scott,
Jay
you love
then.
it.
I still have a crush on Jay now. I am a Jay
Scott,
fan.
you love it.
You can,
He's
Scott.
now.
You can turn him, Scott. I think.
I would do my very best.
You can cure him. You can cure him.
Hey, with that kind of attitude, Scott, you're going to be going places.
Well,
Yeah.
Can do attitude. Get him back on solids.
You go get him, bro.
I will do justice.
Terry, it's been suggested in the chat that you should get yourself your own podcast and you could be the British
No,
Joe Rogan.
I'm working on
Yeah.
it. I'm a bit ADHD, as you know. I find it very hard to focus. Otherwise, I'd be a million. I'd be richer than fucking Elon Musk if I could have got my head together. And I did.
Welcome
on the street,
Welcome to
as they
the
say.
room.
Welcome
Terry.
to the club. Yeah.
Right. The ADHD land.
Poverty.
Terry, you can consider the therapy.
Yeah.
I've done it.
Trust
for
Terry,
4 years.
setting up a podcast is so easy. If you ever want like a fool's
listen.
guide, I will send you one.
No,
It's so
seriously,
easy.
no, help me out on that. You know, but
We can
obviously, you know,
help with that, Terry,
struggle.
and you should do it. You should be
do
the
it.
Joe Rogan.
Hey,
Definitely do it.
well, the bin was looking for a new podcast to add to our repertoire. So
Yeah.
Yeah, get
Come
trans
on
people
along.
on, Terry, because nobody ever has a trans people on except Graham. So have us on.
not true.
Hey, the few times, and I haven't said a lot about trans, but the minute I go, well, I don't really give a shit. On Twitter, it's like, yeah, what about women being raped in toilets by guys in dresses? And going, fucking hell, when did that?
Yeah, it's a
J.K.
dangerous
Rowling.
game.
J.K. Rowling's just fetid
There's a lot
imagination.
to
J.K.
answer
Rowling.
for.
I don't know what you guys are worried about. The Republicans that we talked about before would be excellent genital checkers for the bathrooms.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I want. Every
Yeah.
single one of these teachers, coaches, and senators are getting locked up every other weekend. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll put you guys in charge of checking the genitals of children.
Yeah.
Pass.
Yeah, they're
Pass.
passing that act. Yeah.
If you wrote it as a film or a TV show, some people would go, "Oh, that's a bit much, isn't it?" That wouldn't happen, would it? And it's happening now.
Oh, is it made in Hollywood? Is that
Yeah.
The Republicans a bit like that Brass Eye sketch about the paedophile that accidentally gets launched into space with a kid on board. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That's the GOP right now.
We're just waiting for the one that
This is
disguises
the last
themselves
thing
as
that we
cool.
wanted to happen.
That's the last thing I wanted to talk about.
Anyway, we're gonna leave it there. So thanks very much to everyone for coming on the show this evening. This is good. Doing a bit earlier. I'm gonna shunt everyone watching this over to A. Thompson and all the disappointments, who's starting in a couple of minutes' time. So if you just keep watching this channel, you'll go over there automatically. And if he's got his finger out, you'll go over in an hour's time and watch Maximilian. So enjoy that. Have a great Friday night. Have a great weekend. Thank you to all my guests, Rachel and Mike and Scott and Ollie and Terry and Wayne and Mikey and Tim. And I'll see you next time. And before I go, I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye. Bye.
Subscribe to the bin podcast.
Subscribe to the bin podcast.
Subscribe to the
YouTube. The bin.
Thanks.